Okay, in this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and add an enemy. And what we want to do is I'm going to lock all the layers, and I'm going to start on the ground layer and add a layer here. I'm going to label it enemy, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw an enemy. I'm going to take this rectangle tool, and I'm going to make sure I click and fill it with white and leave it with black. And you could create whatever enemy you want. I'm just going to do this for simplicity for now. And let's go ahead and create an enemy. Okay, great. There's my enemy. Now, I'm going to take the black arrow and select this guy. And I'm going to go, not control. We're going to go to modify, convert to symbol. And we're going to name it enemy in two places. I'm going to name it here, enemy, hit OK. But remember, we have to select this guy on stage. And then in the properties window, we have to use, in the instance name, we have to name him enemy. That is what the computer code will refer to when we want to make a move. Okay, so in actions now, we'll go into actions. I'm going to open up the actions window. Let's do that again. Window actions. Oh, okay, same thing. It's over here. And let's go ahead and, it's being a little funny. We're going to go ahead and create a new function, and we are going to make this enemy move. So I'm going to go ahead and right here add a new event listener, and we're going to name this event. Make sure you're capitalizing everything just right. If you don't capitalize, the program is case sensitive, so ActionScript is case sensitive, so if you don't capitalize everything correctly, things won't work. So let's go ahead and make some space here. We're going to write a new function. So if you notice, I just named this function enemy move. And so here we go. We're going to write it now, enemy move. And let's go ahead and, whoops, I forgot something, didn't I? I forgot to write event dot, not dot, colon, event. And now I could add my curly bracket. So I have an open curly bracket. When I push enter, I get a closed curly bracket. Make sure it's giving you that curly bracket closing off the function. And so now we're going to move his enemy.x minus, and I'm going to make it 30. I've just tried that out before. So if I go control test right now, he should move across the screen. Okay, great. The enemy is moving across the screen. And he's just going forever now. So now I need to reset it. When it gets to the left side of the screen, which is saying if enemy.x is, I'm going to say if it's less than 0, because 0 is the left edge. Okay, let's do something now. We're going to say enemies.x. We're going to set it to a new value. We're going to say equals 1280. And I was playing around with this off screen, and I decided to add some randomness to it. So I'm going to say random, multiply that by 5,000, and how about 3,000, maybe not so far. And what that'll do is it'll put its x coordinate at 1280, which is the right side of the screen, and then it's going to add a little bit more distance. So it gives it some variety. Okay, so let's go ahead and take control test and see what that does. So it moves across the screen, and then it's not always just going to 1280. Sometimes it goes a little further. Okay, and if that's too fast for you, you could set it to maybe like 5,000. Okay, something like that probably work. And then there we go. And let's just say if it hits the enemy, something happens. I mean, it hits the hero, let's make something happen. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say if, I would rather put a tab here and say if, so we're inside here, we're going to say if enemy dot hit test. Now this is how you can see if objects are touching each other in Animate. If object hit test hero, so if it collides with the hero, we are going to now make something happen. We're going to say hero.stop, and I just know that should stop his animation. Okay, so let's just see if that actually works. And why is there a parentheses there? Did I write something wrong? Let's hope not. I'm looking. let's see. Let's go control test and see if it runs into the hero and he stops his animation. It does. It does in fact work. Okay, good. All right, good. So we had success doing that. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video here, and then, well, actually, I'm going to do one more thing. We're going to add one more variable, and we're going to call this variable game over. So we're going to say variable game over, and we're going to set it equal to false to start. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap all this code in something that says basically if the game's not over. And when he hits the player, the game is going to become over. So it's going to say if game over. But one thing, if you have no experience with coding yet, if you put an exclamation point in front of this value here, if it means, exclamation means not. So if it's not game over, and I'm going to put the open curly bracket here, I am going to close it off here. And let me dress this up a little better. I'm going to put tab here, and I'm going to bump all these over. So we can kind of see that this code is wrapped in this statement here. If not, game over. Then we're going to move to the left, and we're going to do all this stuff. The enemy's going to move if the game is not over. But once we hit the enemy, once we hit the hero, we're going to reset that variable. We're going to say game over equals true. So the enemy should stop moving. If I did this correctly, if I typed everything right, game over starts out as false. It's not game over. Game's on. Okay, so while game is not over, all this stuff's going to happen inside of here. Then as soon as you hit it, game over set to true, and so none of this will happen anymore. Let's see. Control test. Just let it run into him, and there you have it. It ran into him. Let me see if I could possibly time it out right and jump over this thing. I better move it to the right a little further. I'm going to try to jump it. Let's see. Control test. See if I can actually. Oh, I hit it. Okay. So go ahead and have fun doing that. We'll clean up that code and maybe slow it down, see what's going on, and how we could adjust things so that we could actually make this a playable game. Okay? Go ahead and have fun making your enemy move across the screen. Have fun.